she showed me an Instagram account. It was me. Or rather, it was a version of me, wearing my face. I matched with a guy I'll call Derek on a popular dating app about 2 years ago. He was attractive, articulate, had a job in finance, a dog named after a jazz musician. Everything looked right on paper. We went on 3 dates. Coffee, dinner, a walk along the waterfront. He was charming in that slightly too polished way that I told myself was just confidence. After the 3rd date, I decided he wasn't for me. Nothing dramatic. No red flags I could name specifically. Just the feeling you get when something is off, but you can't locate the source. I sent a polite text. Thanked him for the dates, said I didn't feel a romantic connection, wished him well. He replied, "Okay, I'll give you some time." That phrasing sat wrong with me. Not thanks anyway, or even that's disappointing. I'll give you some time. Like my decision was a mood he was prepared to wait out. I didn't respond. I blocked his number. 2 weeks passed. Nothing. I started to relax. Then one evening I was leaving my gym, a gym I had never mentioned to Derek, had never posted about on any social media, had no public connection to whatsoever. And I walked out into the parking lot and he was there, standing by his car, which happened to be parked 2 spaces from mine. He smiled when he saw me. A completely natural, relaxed smile, like running into an old friend. "What a coincidence," he said. "I want to tell you I handled it smoothly." I didn't. I froze for a moment that felt much longer than it was, and then I said something like, "I have to go," and got in my car and locked the door and sat there with my hands shaking on the steering wheel. I drove around for 40 minutes before going home. I needed to know if he would follow me. He didn't. That time. Over the next 3 weeks, I saw him 4 more times. Once outside a coffee shop I frequented, not near my home, not near my office, a specific neighborhood place I went to maybe once a week. Once in the parking structure of my office building, he was just walking through, he said, visiting a friend who worked there. Once, at a farmer's market I had mentioned only once, in a conversation on the app that I liked. Each time, he was pleasant. Each time, it was a coincidence. Each time, he didn't do anything threatening. He just appeared, smiled, made small talk, let me leave. The 4th encounter was at a grocery store 2 blocks from my apartment. I hadn't told him where I lived. I had been careful about that from the beginning. But a grocery store 2 blocks from my building, the math was simple enough for anyone paying attention. That night, I went through every piece of digital information I had ever shared with him. The app messages. The one Instagram account he might have found. Anything public. And I found it. A check-in at that farmer's market from 14 months before, buried in my public Instagram. One post. He had found one post from over a year ago and shown up there. I filed a police report. The officer was kind but honest with me. Without a direct threat, there wasn't much they could do. He hadn't said anything frightening. He hadn't touched me. He had merely been there. Repeatedly. Everywhere. I moved apartments 4 months later. I made every social media account private. I deleted the dating app. I haven't seen him since. But I want you to understand something about how this kind of thing changes you. I no longer walk to my car without scanning the lot first. I no longer go to the same coffee shop 2 weeks in a row. I vary my routes. I notice who's behind me. He never threatened me. He never had to. He just showed me that he could find me. Anywhere. Whenever he wanted. And then he let me live with that knowledge. I dated a man I'll call Nate for 7 months. We met on a dating app, deleted the app together on our 2-month anniversary in the way couples do when they decide to make it official. It felt like a milestone. It felt like something real. He was attentive, funny, remembered small things I said. He texted back quickly. He showed up when he said he would. After a string of situationships and people who communicated in 3-word responses, Nate felt like proof that decent men still existed. I ended things after 7 months because something had shifted. He'd become possessive in a quiet, incremental way. The kind that's hard to identify in real time because each individual moment seems small. A comment about how long I'd been at a friend's house. A question about who had liked my photo. Wanting to know, every night, exactly where I was and exactly when I'd be home. Small stones, but they were accumulating. He did not take the breakup well. Not violently, not at first. Just relentlessly. Texts asking why. Then texts saying he understood. Then texts saying he didn't understand at all. Then long messages at 2 a.m. about everything I'd meant to him. I stopped responding after the first week. I blocked him on everything I could think of. 6 weeks later, a friend sent me a screenshot. It was a dating profile. Not Nate's profile, or rather, not obviously his profile. Different name. Different photos, but photos I recognized. They were taken at angles and distances just far enough to be ambiguous. But the bio described, in specific detail, things that could only have been written by someone who had spent significant time with me, or significant time thinking about me. It listed my neighborhood, my gym, my Saturday morning routine. Things Nate knew. The profile was set to appear in the search radius of my apartment. I sat with that for a long time before I understood what I was looking at. He had built a profile designed to show up in my feed, disguised enough that I might not immediately recognize him, but detailed enough, intimate enough, that if I did engage with it, he would know it was me. It was a trap, a patient, meticulous digital trap. I reported the profile to the app. It was removed within 24 hours. 3 days later, a new one appeared. Different name, slightly different photos, same bio details. Same search radius. This happened 4 times over 2 months. Each time I reported it, each time it vanished and reappeared. I contacted a lawyer who specialized in stalking and harassment. She helped me build a documentation file, screenshots, timestamps, report confirmations. We sent a cease and desist. The profiles stopped. But here is the thing that still unsettles me. The thing I think about when I open any app now, even innocuous ones. He had spent weeks crafting a digital identity specifically engineered to reach me. He had thought about what I would respond to. What language would catch my attention? What details would feel familiar without triggering recognition? He had studied me, in the way you study something you intend to catch. My ex, I'll call him Marcus, was the love of my life for 2 years. I want to say that clearly, because I think it's important context. He wasn't always what he became. Or maybe he was, and I just couldn't see it while I was inside of it. That's the question I still don't have an answer to. The relationship ended because he had been accessing my email without my knowledge for approximately 6 months. I found out by accident, a device notification I didn't recognize, an unfamiliar login location in my account history. When I confronted him, he cried. He said he'd been scared of losing me. He said he'd needed to know I wasn't pulling away. He said it like it was love and not surveillance. I ended it that night, packed a bag, and went to my sister's. He called 11 times before I turned my phone off. By morning, there were 37 missed calls. Not messages. Not voicemails. Calls. 37 attempts to reach me between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. while I was sleeping, while he thought I might answer. Just redialing, in the dark, for 9 hours. I blocked him. My sister changed her Wi-Fi password in case he tried to track my location through a shared network we'd used. We did the things you do. For 2 weeks, nothing. I started to breathe again. Then I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Just 4 words. I see you healing. I didn't respond. I blocked that number. Another unknown number texted the next day. You look tired. Are you sleeping? He was describing me. In real time. Which meant he was watching me. Physically watching me. From somewhere close enough to observe whether I looked tired. I called the police. They came, took a report, advised me to document everything and vary my routine. They drove past my sister's house twice that night. I lay in the guest room with the lights off and listened to every car that passed. My sister's neighbor, a retired man who sat on his porch most evenings, mentioned casually the next morning that a car had been parked at the end of the block for several nights running. Just sitting there, engine off, no one getting out. He'd assumed it was someone visiting a neighbor. The car matched Marcus's car. He was eventually served with a restraining order. He violated it once showed up at my workplace, stood outside on the public sidewalk, technically within legal bounds. He was wearing a jacket I had bought him for his birthday the previous year. I don't know if that was intentional. I think it was. He moved out of the city 8 months later. I know this because the texts stopped. I know this because I stopped feeling watched when I stepped outside. I know this the way prey knows when the predator has finally moved on. Not from information, from the sudden, exhausted absence of dread. This one is going to sound unbelievable. I need you to know that every part of it is true and that I have documentation for every part of it. I met a man I'll call Elliot on a dating app. We went on 2 dates. I didn't feel a connection and told him so after the second one. He seemed to take it fine. Said he understood, wished me luck, that was that. 3 months later, a coworker pulled me aside and asked carefully, with the tone of someone who isn't sure how to say what they're about to say, whether I'd been active on social media recently. I said, yes, normally, why? She showed me an Instagram account. It was me. Or rather, it was a version of me. The profile photo was a picture of me pulled from my public account. The username was a slight variation of mine, 1 letter different. The bio was copied almost word for word from my actual bio. And it had been active for 11 weeks. Whoever ran the account had been posting regularly, consistently content designed to look like it came from me. They had found photos of me from public sources, old posts, a tagged photo from a friend's account, a company headshot, and built a functioning fake identity. They had responded to comments. They had followed people I knew. They had messaged 3 of my actual friends from this fake account. Not saying anything alarming, just maintaining the fiction. Being me. My friends had no idea it wasn't real. Why would they? It looked exactly like me. I reported the account immediately. Instagram removed it within 48 hours. But before it came down, I went through every post, every interaction, every follow. And I found, buried in the following list, an account I recognized. A secondary account linked to Elliot. A fan account for a sports team he'd mentioned on our first date. I wouldn't have found it if I hadn't known to look. I still don't fully understand what he wanted from it. Access to my social circle? Information about my life filtered through the people who knew me? The experience of being connected to me in a way I had denied him? All of the above? What I know is this. For 11 weeks, a man I had been on 2 dates with had been living a parallel version of my life online. Wearing my face, speaking in my voice, building relationships with people I loved, as me. I think about what would have happened if my coworker hadn't said something. I think about how long it might have continued. I think about how perfectly ordinary he seemed on those 2 dates. How nothing, not a single moment, suggested that underneath the pleasantries was someone capable of this level of sustained, meticulous obsession. That's the part that keeps me up at night. Not that monsters exist, but that they look so completely, utterly normal. My ex-boyfriend and I broke up after 4 years. It was not amicable. He had cheated, I had found out. He had justified it in the way people do when they know they're wrong but refuse to sit with that. I was angry. He was angrier that I was angry. Classic. He moved out. I kept the apartment. 3 weeks of silence, and then what I hoped was the beginning of moving on. The calls started 2 months later. Not calls from him, calls to me. From men I didn't know. The first one was confusing a man asking if I was still available, saying he'd seen my listing. I told him he had the wrong number and hung up. Then another call, same question. Then 3 in one evening. One of them was aggressive when I said I didn't know what he was talking about. A friend figured it out before I did. She searched my phone number on a site that aggregates personal ads. There was a listing. My name. My phone number. My neighborhood. a photo of me from a night out lifted from my Instagram, and a description that I will not repeat, but that was designed to invite exactly the kind of contact I had been receiving. It had been up for 3 weeks. I cannot describe to you what it feels like to see yourself listed like that. Like an object. Like something available. Like something he had decided he could offer to strangers as a form of punishment for leaving him. I got the listing taken down. It reappeared on a different site the next day. Then another. He was methodical about it, removing and reposting as I reported, staying one step ahead of the takedowns. Over 6 weeks, I counted 14 separate postings across 9 different platforms. Meanwhile, the calls kept coming. I stopped answering unknown numbers. I changed my phone number. He found my new number within 10 days. I still don't know how. And the calls started again. I hired an attorney. The attorney sent a letter. He escalated. The attorney went to law enforcement. He was charged under a state cyberstalking statute. He pled down, received probation, was ordered to have no contact with me. He sent a card to my workplace on my birthday. Unsigned. Just a birthday card. Just enough to remind me he was still there, still watching the calendar, still thinking about me in whatever way he thought about me. Still technically within legal limits. That was 14 months ago. There's been nothing since. I want to say I feel safe now. I mostly do. But every year, as my birthday approaches, I watch my mailbox. I watch the front desk at work. I hold my breath for about a week. And every year that nothing arrives, I let myself exhale. And I try to remember what it felt like before I had to do that. Before someone taught me that love gone wrong doesn't always go quietly. They blocked, they broke free, they ran. But this horror doesn't need darkness or empty hallways. It's already on your phone, in your inbox. Stay safe. Stay watching.